Welcome to the March Fraternal Outreach webinar. My name is Caitlin Gherkin, and I'm joined by Judy James, Michael Cesario, and Caitlin Rose Bisek, as well as a special guest host, whom I'll introduce in just a moment. We appreciate you joining us to learn about the magazine. Quick question. Did you know the magazine is officially called Catholic Forester? Patty, did you know that? I'm going to put you on the spot. It's okay, you did it. That's all good. Perhaps you've seen the name on the cover, or perhaps you've missed it, as we do really take our time in selecting excellent photos for the cover. So perhaps those have drawn your eye away from the title. Today's guest host is Connor McElhaney, and Connor has been at Catholic Order of Foresters for over a year now. He holds the role of editor. He reviews, edits, and writes a lot of content for COF, and he leads the production of the magazine. Now, I don't want to give too much away, so I'll hand things over to Connor now. Go ahead, Connor, take it away.
All right, so thank you, Caitlin, for introducing me. Here is the webinar agenda. We are going to run through a range of topics this afternoon, and at the end, I'll open it up for questions and comments, and Caitlin will also mention some upcoming events. So first off, I want to introduce just some history of Catholic Forester. There's a rich history with this publication, and I think it's something of interest, and I think it's a good way to open the presentation. So Catholic Forester is over a century old, and it was first circulated in the 1880s under the name The Guide, and it was originally styled as a journal for members, similar to how it is now to convey information. In 1893, it formally changed from The Guide to The Catholic Forester. We have since dropped the from the title, but a lot of what you see in the magazine now has its roots in the 1890s, when, for example, the High Chief Ranger would write a message to open the journal. And you'll see in the next slide some covers from that era. So in 1890, I pulled this from our vault downstairs. On the left, you'll see what that looked like, the guide. And if you look closely, you can see Court News is actually featured in that edition. And today, I'm working on Court News right now for the next edition of the magazine. So I think that's pretty neat to highlight. And then in 1893, they published the first edition of what we know now as the Catholic Forester, or as Catholic Forester. And if you probably can't see the text in this image, but that message that you see, that letter, was written by a cardinal at the time. I couldn't really zoom in to see which cardinal it was, but I thought I'd feature that. And then on the right, you can see a cover from 1919. The was dropped from the title, and this cover conveys a message as well to get more members. Every member get a new member. So Catholic Forester is more than just a magazine, and it's primarily a communication tool between the order and its members. It's a member benefit that conveys information about the order itself, benefits, and other members. And we write a lot of member-based stories, and we do not accept paid advertising. Back in the 1800s, we did. But. So what type of stories do we look for? So we look for stories that are member-focused and relevant to all Catholic Forester readers. We cover unique events, we highlight inspiring endeavors, and we write feature stories about members that we think should be highlighted. We found that members like to see their events in the magazine, and they often draw inspiration from other events that they see. Feeding God's Children events are often covered. Spirituality tap-ins have been covered, and alternative breaks in the upcoming mission trip. The mission trip hasn't been covered yet because it's happening later in the year, but we have covered alternative breaks in the past. So Photo quality matters quite a bit when we publish the magazine, and we get a lot of photos submitted from members. Some members submit photos through the mail, which is a good way to send photos. We like that, but ideally we like to receive photos that are high resolution through email. But we do accept lower quality images. We'll publish those images, but the quality standard is high resolution, and certainly a high resolution for the cover. So when you send a photo, please provide key details about it. So who is in the photo? Maybe a brief description of the event, if it was a photo from an event. I guess and that really applies to matching funds too. If you're ever sending a matching funds photo in, Judy here does have papers that with the following information that's highlighted in the bottom bullet point: the name of the event, the recipient of the funds, and the names of the people in the image, and how much money was raised. So we do have that information here, but I think it's good practice to just include that information when you do send a photo to me. And you can send photos directly to my email address, which is listed at the end of this presentation. And you can also send photos to the editor inbox. So you can read Catholic Forester online. We have a really great online magazine format. And here's how you do it. So you would go to catholicforester.org, the homepage, and you would click menu in the top right. When you click menu, a drop-down menu will appear, and you'll go to membership. Membership will take you to the membership page. And on the left side of that page, you'll have an option to click magazine. And when you click magazine, scroll down and you'll be able to find the online version. Now, members have called into me, sent me emails saying, we love receiving the print edition of the magazine, but we want to, maybe clear out our mailbox a little bit, and we'll just read it online. That's something that's happened before, and it's the same magazine. It's the same thing, but I guess it's really clear. It's digital, and it's something that I think we're proud of. So that's basically a quick overview of the magazine. I want to open this up for any questions or comments regarding the magazine, any suggestions, anything that I didn't cover that you want to know more about. So I'm just going to open it up for any questions.
If you have a question, go ahead and unmute yourself, or you could type in the chat too.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
What is the rule for when you're at an event with a lot of children taking pictures? Do you have to have parents' release signed, or?
Yeah. So I know we have a form but I haven't been to an event. I haven't taken photos at an event. But yeah, I mean, when I do go to an event and take photos, and if there's a child in the photo, I will ask permission. Absolutely.
So I'll ask another question, because I always have questions.
Okay.
So when you're looking for stories, is it things that members are involved in? Something that's out of the ordinary, or what kind of articles are you looking for?
Yeah, I guess out of the ordinary, I guess a little bit. Just basically if it's something that I think we should feature, if it's of interest to the readers, and if it reflects well on COF,
So
there's
like
good messaging in it.
if a scholarship recipient has done something really outstanding, it would be interesting to see, because I know we put that in the magazine where they have gone.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. That would be in the magazine. We highlight every year in the special edition, we highlight the fraternal scholarship winners. And one of the things that I plan on doing this year is bringing back the Where Are They Now, series. And so just looking at past fraternal scholarship winners and what they did in college, what they've done since graduating college. There's a whole lot of Catholic Forester members that have, Catholic Order of Foresters members who have won that scholarship and gone on to do very nice things and stay active with COF.
So probably really if somebody has an idea of making an article, the best thing really would be contact you and see what your thoughts would be. Yeah,
exactly. So yeah, if you have a story idea, please give me a call. Please send me an email. I really like to talk to members, and I love accepting story ideas. I have story ideas myself, but I think we have a really deep, vast membership base, and 100,000 members across the country. There are stories out there to tell, and we want to tell them.
Hey, Connor, Patty Eaton has a question in the chat. Is one able to share the online magazine once you have the online magazine opened, or do you have to go to the website?
Do you have, once you have it opened, what does that exactly mean? So, I mean, you would be able to share the link with someone. I'm sorry, I'm kind of confused by the question.
So say I want to share there's an article on the magazine and I want to share it with one of my sisters. Mm-hmm. Is there like a share button on the website to do that? Or I would have to say, you need to get out, you have to go to the Catholic Order of Foresters website and get to the magazine.
Yeah, you certainly could direct them to the website, but you would also be able to, have the online magazine open on your computer. And then, if there's a story on pages 16 and 17 that you want to forward to someone, you would be able to just open the magazine to those pages, copy the link, and send it to them. And it would open. It would either open directly to those pages, or at the very least, it would open to the cover of the magazine, and then you might have to tell them it's on pages 16 or 17. I'm not exactly sure.
We do.
But you are able to share it.
Individual magazine stories in the news section of our website. So Patty, that's probably your best bet. If there's a specific story you're looking for, we post those like big member feature stories in the news section of our website. So how Connor showed, you go to catholicforester.org and click on menu and click on membership to view the whole magazine. It's the best way I can describe it is it's almost like a PDF format. So you're getting the entire magazine in one chunk. But if in that menu you click on news instead of membership, you'll go to our news page, and then there's individual articles of all sorts listed there. We publish other things, for the home office and business related stuff, but we publish a lot of magazine stories there too. And then on that page, you have the option to share to Facebook, share to LinkedIn, and share on Twitter. So like if your sister's on Facebook, it might be easy to just share it with her on Facebook. Otherwise, you can always copy the URL and paste it into an email and send it to her that way.
Okay, that helps.
Okay, awesome. Good question. Does anyone else have any questions? No? Okay. So I did put the photo and video release form that's available on our website in the chat. So you guys can click on that and access that file. It is a good idea to have permission from parents if you're taking photos of children under 18. So just keep that in mind going forward. All right, Connor, go ahead and click through to the next slide, please. And we want to thank you all for tuning in, and thank you, Connor, especially for sharing the ins and outs of Catholic Forester magazine with us. As we mentioned, if you'd like to contact Connor, perhaps you have a story idea to share or some photos to send in, you can reach him directly via phone, as you see there on the screen, and we'll leave this slide up here for a minute so you can copy down that information if you want. You can also email him directly at that email address. You can also email editor@catholicforester.org. As Connor mentioned, that's a shared email inbox, so a couple people have access to that. But reaching out to Connor directly works well too. I would encourage you, if you have an idea, reach out to Connor, because it may not seem like much to you, but there may be a great story there that we want to tell. So reach out to Connor and have a conversation with him about that. Okay, Connor, can you click through to the next slide, please? So there are a couple of big upcoming events at COF. Our next outreach webinar is Tuesday, April 13th. So next month after Easter. And this session's topic will be how to use the website. You can register for this session on our website at the URL listed there. So this is going to run through how to navigate the website, how to create an account, different resources that are on there, both for officers and just the general membership. So that'll be a great session. And then a big one on Wednesday, April 7th at 6:30 p.m. I saved the best for last. We are hosting our very first town hall. And you all are really getting a sneak peek at this because we haven't, we've announced it to the home office team, but we haven't shared it with the greater membership yet. So this town hall will be 60 minutes long, and Greg Temple, our CEO, Dave Huber, our chairman of the board, and then Judy James, our assistant VP of Fraternal, will serve as panelists for this session. Excuse me. They'll have a message to share to kick things off, and then we are going to open it up for questions. So you will be able to submit questions in advance as well as live during the event. Now, we are still working out registration details, so stay tuned for that. The best option is to check our website, catholicforester.org, or you can reach out to me directly, which is kgherkin@catholicforester.org, and I can add you to the list to make sure you get the registration information when we launch it. I'm excited for this event. There's a big team at the home office working on it. I think it's going to be a great opportunity. Any last minute questions before we wrap it up?
Hey, Caitlin, this is Michael Schuster.
Hi, Michael.
Hey, I apologize. I was a little bit late. I was trying to finish up lunch, and you may have already covered this. One question that comes to mind is, how far in advance do you have to get photos and information for something to be featured in the article prior to the distribution of the magazine?
That's an excellent question. Connor, can you take that one?
Yeah, so we have an internal content deadline. So the content deadline, for example, for the upcoming spring edition is this Friday. And we published the magazine on the 26th of March. So with the content deadline being March 5th, we started the process on this magazine, on this spring magazine, in late January. So basically, within like a month and a half before we published the magazine. So I guess, I mean, you don't really have access to our dates, our publishing dates. So it would be a little tough to say, but I guess after you receive a magazine at your home, there would be about like a month and a half worth of time before like the next internal content deadline, when we gather everything for our next edition and then send it off to our printer. So so you received the winter magazine, I'm guessing last week or 2 weeks ago. So there's time immediately after that to send in photos for like the next edition.
Connor, why don't we publish our content deadlines on the website where the magazine lives? So people can
Excuse, yeah.
see those content deadlines. That way, when they go to read the magazine, they can know if they want to submit something for the next magazine when they'd have to submit it by.
Yes, I will do that. I think that's a great idea. We can do that. Yeah. And we have all those dates set, so it would just be putting it on there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, everyone. Well, thank you so much for joining. I hope you have a great day, and we look forward to seeing you at a future outreach webinar.